You are a conservative.
I am.
Yeah, a Sarah Palin supporter.
I am, yes.
And I could tell that you have a warm heart just because of the statement I just said. The question I want to ask before I open up the panel, and other people want to ask, other questions too.
Sure.
Why Sarah Palin?
Well, I was introduced to Governor Palin just as everyone else was when Senator McCain tapped her to be his running mate. And the first thing, I'll just tell you my initial response, and what drew me initially was her respect for the sanctity of life. And as a Christian, that's an issue that is absolutely important to me. I mean, if we're not going to value life, then, well, no one would be here right now. And so that was something that drew me. And then the more I got to know about her record as the governor of Alaska, what she did in Alaska, a woman who had a 90% approval rating, which is basically unheard of, prior to, of course, coming onto the national scene when the media decided that they wanted to take up an attack. But she was a reformer and a maverick. Of course, that was a platform that they ran on. But there was something to that when you look at her record and how she took on corruption in the state of Alaska on either side of the aisle. And that was why the approval rating was so high, first of all, because she saw corruption and she worked to get rid of it. No matter whether you're a Democrat, no matter whether you're Republican, she stood up for that. And to me right now, she is a common sense voice, the most consistent, the most nonstop, the most unwavering voice we have for common sense conservatism.
MotivationTruth.com.
Yes.
What's that all about?
And that is my website, which I started in 2008, shortly after the election. And it originally began with the desire to speak the truth about issues, particularly in the beginning, issues that pertain to black people. And my view about how we seem to be stuck in a system that is the antithesis of what many of us believe and really isn't serving us well. And that was where it originally started. And I wanted to see truth out there, particularly after following the 2008 election, where I feel like there was a lot of cutthroat antics going on, and I wanted
to... 2008 election,
the 2008 election.
Cutthroat?
Yes, particularly concerning Governor Palin in particular, and just the media's assault on that. And so I wanted to speak the truth, and that is my only interest. What's true, not who, but what. And principles are very important to me.
I just want to say one thing, and it's gonna be a quote from Martin Luther King.
Right.
Do we all know who that is?
Yes, and he was a Republican, by the way.
And that wasn't
I'm from Massachusetts, and so wasn't.
Yeah, a lot of
I was
people,
raised by
blacks
Republicans,
were
okay? And when they first were able to vote, which they had to fight, and were murdered and burnt, up and all that, and killed, they had to register as Republicans. That was the only way they were allowed to vote. But I just don't like to mess people's quotes up but all I have to say is nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. And that's Martin Luther King, Jr. And that's all I have to say about Sarah Palin and her followers. I think as a black woman, I don't know where your lineage was split. I don't understand how you can even consider yourself a black woman and support
I'm glad you brought that
such
up.
a farce.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. And I'm
Okay,
glad you didn't hold back.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm glad you didn't hold back
okay.
because that's the thing we always come back to. I'm an American. I'm a black American and proud of it. And but we always want to be the black police, and we always want to determine who's black enough. And if you're not black and you don't subscribe to, if you're black and you don't subscribe to our way of thinking, then how can you call yourself a black woman? And I say to that, so much of what black people stand for. Most black people are social conservatives. Most black people are people of faith. And I look at the Democratic Party, which desires to remove God from every aspect of our public life, which, I mean, abortion is killing off our people. We have the largest percentages of abortion in this nation. Planned Parenthood was started by a woman who wanted to eradicate the black race, and yet we continue to support people who are the antithesis of what matters to us. To me, Sarah Palin, Governor Palin, is more of a lover of black people, and her stand for life, and her stand for limited government, and her stand for trying to get the economy moving than some black people who have no concept that the Democratic Party has not helped us get anywhere. It has made us victims to a system that has not empowered us, but has caused us to depend on them. Government is not our source. God is our source.
Sarah Palin is a lover of self. Sarah Palin is an opportunist. And Sarah Palin did not even like John McCain before he tapped her for VP. She was very friendly towards President Obama. She said some very glowing things about President Obama. She talked about him being charismatic. She talked about him being someone that was against status quo. And all those things that Sarah Palin wants to tout herself as, she said about him. And all of a sudden now that she wants to be on that bandwagon because it is beneficial to her. And Sarah Palin is a polarizing person. You know,
let me have to talk to the viewers. If you all want to call the show, you all want to call the show, please call 212-757-1393. That's 212-757-1393. I would love to hear your comments or questions. Robin.
Yes.
My yoga flavor girl.
Yes, dear.
What's happening? What's on your mind?
Well, just in terms of Palin. So
it's just a conversation, yes.
To the benefit of the thought of conservatism in terms of, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and things like that, just to, give credit to some of the philosophy of being a conservative. But then on the other hand, I did take the time to listen to Obama and Clinton. President Obama, thank you. President Obama President Obama and Mr. Clinton talk about the analysis that they have done for our economy.
I think one of the main problems that most Americans have with Sarah Palin, whether they think she's a nice lady or not, because I think personally she might be a very nice lady personally, but in terms of politically, and her being on the political landscape and possibly running for president. I mean, there's a question as to competency. I mean, that's the biggest question that most people have. She's still making gaffes. Let's not even talk about what happened with Katie Couric and Charlie Gibson and whenever those 1 or 2 interviews she gave during the presidential run, when she didn't even allow herself to be vetted because she was afraid of the media. Let's talk about the fact that recently on a friendly show, on Glenn Beck's show, when they were talking about foreign policy, she talked about America's ally being North Korea. We all know that America's, well, anyone that knows foreign policy, know that America's ally is not NorthRea, it's South Korea, and he had to immediately correct her. How can some woman like that?
All right, Carla, hold on, Carla, please hang in there. Let me make this brief. Carla, hold on.
Let's be real, and let's stop being so disingenuous. The governor was talking about North and South Korea prior to the gaffe. President Obama, however, makes reference to 57 states that he's traveled to, and no one makes a big deal out of it. And they should not have made a big deal out of it because it's obvious that he knows that we don't have 57 states. The Governor Palin had been talking about North and South Korea, and then she misspoke, and all of a sudden she misspoke.
She speaks a lot.
But
now.
You know why? Because
you're not an Obama supporter.
I am not an Obama. He is my president.
Right.
He is President Obama. He is my president.
Him?
I respect the fact that he's. I respect the office.
Right.
I don't agree with his policies. I don't think that we're going in the direction we need to go. But as far as questioning who I am as a person, I think that people who do that, they don't believe that black people think for themselves, because I'm supposed to go along with everyone else. I can't possibly have an individual thought and do what I believe is right. I'm going to stand up for what I believe is right.
Well, let me ask you this. What is it about President Obama that you dislike?
Well, first of all, my original thing, as I talked about the sanctity of human life, here's someone who, first of all, has very...
Well, okay, what about I agree. Republicans there are Republicans and Democrats that are pro-life.
But I want to talk about him in particular because he's so far out of the mainstream.
All right.
First of all, he has very little experience with anything.
But he has fulfilled mostly all his promises that he has made.
My point is this: when he was the senator, which was very, most of the time he was senator, he was running for office. He couldn't even, take the born alive. Talk about someone who was born after a botched abortion. Should we provide medical care to those people? He could not even vote. Yes, we should provide medical care to someone who's born after a botched abortion. I mean, where is the love of life? And that's just one. I mean, I'm not a one-issue person. But when you look at the economy, you look at what boosts an economy, overtaxing American people. That's an issue.
Caller, hold on.
Old nose
Make
on
this brief,
President Obama.
Caller, please hold on.
Sorry. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I was talking
about 200 years of mayhem and ridiculousness that all of a sudden President Obama is going to be responsible to fix everything in one. No, but aren't you a conservative?
I am a conservative.
Aren't you with Palin and them? That's what y'all be saying.
Okay, I hope this caller is a Tea Party member.
I'm sorry.
Who are you?
Speak out of
where are you calling from? I'm sorry, PENWAH.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Yes, hello. My name is Stefan Omar, and I'm calling from the village of Harlem.
How are you doing, Stefan?
Okay, and first of all, you sisters look great.
Thank you very much.
I have to agree with the sister. Here we have President Obama. He just got into office. He hasn't even been in office for 2 years. He has a beautiful wife, a beautiful family in there. And anytime you have a president who could live with his mother-in-law in the White House, you got to say kudos to this brother. And then another thing,
brother.
Any other president, when he passed that health care bill, and I'm from Canada, and I'm here with my grandson right now who's 11 years old, okay? And if it wasn't for the health care bill in Canada, he may not have been alive. And any time this is a president, 19 other presidents couldn't get this bill passed. And this brother, no matter how watered down it was, let's give him kudos. He is definitely, in my humble opinion, he is a two-term president. And this other guy, Boy George, who was there, and Papa George, and even Slick Willie, they can't carry this guy's suitcase. As far as I'm concerned.
Okay, thank you.
But there's nothing you can do about it.
Okay, all right.
That's part of the problem, DIETRA, is that President Obama, does not get the credit for the many wonderful things that he's done. On top of, all the things that Republicans want to criticize, the stimulus bill, the bailouts, all those things some of those things are actually starting to turn profit right now. In terms of Citibank, who the government had to bail out to help restore the economy, has returned a $2 billion profit for the government. No one's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the good things that have happened out of the Obama administration, except the president. And that's unfortunate.
You're a Republican, right?
I am a registered Republican, yes.
Okay, one thing I do have to say about the Republicans, they do stick together. And it seems like the Democrats are very divisive right now. They're just fighting each other.
Yeah,
and so
it seems that first of all, I never came on here. I don't know where it came from, but I never came and said I was anti-President Obama.
No, well,
I was asked to come here because I am pro-Governor Palin.
All right.
So let's state that. But the American people, in large numbers, are not pleased with President Obama. It's not. I mean, look at the 2010 midterm elections that we just had. Obviously, people are not happy with the job that he's doing.
It's because he is being sabotaged deliberately and maliciously.
He has a majority.
Uneducated people.
He has a majority in the House and the Senate. What is it about his own party and the American people that can't agree with him on this health care bill? Perhaps it's not what people wanted. Why has there been such a turnaround in these elections? So let's talk about that.
But she has a point. She has a point.
She has not just Republicans.
She has a point.
He is having, what happened when the president came into office, the Republicans decided that they would do everything possible not to support this president.
And your evidence of that?
So the evidence, they said it. They came out and said, as the term of the elections that have happened, the midterm elections now, they came out and said, we are going to make sure that he is a one-term president. Let's talk about Sarah Palin. You came on for Sarah Palin. Yes. Let's talk about Sarah Palin. If President Obama has a hard time uniting the Democrats and Republicans, what do you think Sarah Palin is going to do?
In other words, we still want to, all these months in, we we still want to blame
him. He's not doing enough.
We had all these months. All these months, Adrienne. This man destroyed this country in 8 years, and all these months, in a couple of months, we supposed to turn that around.
And kept us.
So all these, how much time do you think it's going to take?
And kept us. Listen, my point is, let's look at what we're doing now, and it's not just Republicans. The vast majority of Americans are not in agreement with President Obama's policies. They're not. And if they were,
she has a point there. She has a point there, Sean.
That they wanted him to do. They would still fall for
it. It came out in the polls.
Listen to me. Listen to
I'm certainly not.
Okay, let it go.
Racism.
That argument dies here.
Period. Pardon me.
It doesn't matter, Adrienne.
Are you saying I'm a racist?
No, I'm not saying you're a racist.
You don't know how ignorant you are. That's what's so sad about
we're not
you don't even understand the ignorance of your belief system.
No.
You don't understand that you've been played.
No, I haven't been played.
You've been
We have been
played.
bamboozled. We have been duped as a people. I have come off the plantation. I respect you. You are entitled to your beliefs. I don't question whether you're black enough. I don't question whether you're American enough. But you question mine. And you're entitled to that. And when I walk out, I will still be black. I will still be American. And more than that, I will still be a Christian.
Okay.
I will be able to look at myself in the mirror knowing that I'm standing up for what I believe is right.
And well said. So I just wanted to change the vibration. I just want us to inhale with an attitude of gratitude, fill the belly, and exhale, and let's release all negativity so everything is once again balanced and neutral. Okay, now with the holiday season, with all the energy that comes up, with all the memories that comes up, it's so important to, during this holiday season, to keep your center. So during this time, I want all of you to take the time to center yourself. And whatever is necessary for you to nourish your spiritual side, we all have different ways that we come to that one united force that guides us all. Whatever that is for you as an individual, just take the time to do that. We're also in Mercury retrograde, if you believe in that or not. It just seems to be a time to kind of regroup. Regroup, and then if you feel inspired, reunite with family, friends, loved one. If you feel inspired, to retreat and take time to nurture yourself. But whatever it is, take the time to be conscious. Take the time for clarity, and take the time to be calm during this holiday season so that you can enjoy what the basic meaning of this season with all the different interpretations mean.
If Sean buys me a gift that I don't like, what should I do?
Center yourself. Center yourself. I'm glad you said that. Center yourself. Receive it with an attitude of gratitude, and just send the blessings back.
Well, let's give it a shot now. I got something for you, Dietra. It was Dietra's birthday 2 days ago. Let's wish her a happy birthday, Miss Dietra. Happy birthday.
I'm emotional. I usually don't celebrate my birthday, but thank you so much.
You're welcome.